So, Captain America Brave New World is out, and I won't lie, it's been very awkward seeing a new MCU film trying to come out with anything lately. I feel like Disney is a little self-aware right now that they majorly fucked up on Phase 4. They released Deadpool and Wolverine in 2024, then they released this kind of mid-trailer for the new Captain America, then followed up by some news that the movie had major production issues, and on top of all of that, the fans are still not sold by the fact that the Falcon, who is not a super soldier, he is just a normal fucking guy, is Captain America. To say the least, I can't say I was excited for this movie. Plus, not everyone even watched the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show, and even if they did, I can tell you right now, it's not very good. I don't know a single motherfucker that actually likes that show. So to now make a movie about that character as your first real MCU movie in like a year? To say the least, it is definitely a bold strategy. Now that the movie is out, is it even good? My reaction after seeing this film can be perfectly replicated by this GIF. Meh. That seems to be what a lot of people have been saying so far. They either say that it's mid or that it's complete trash. It seems to me that Disney/Marvel has not yet learned their lesson on making good MCU movies, that they persist on adding characters to a story that just don't really belong to the narrative, giving unnecessary and just unwanted cameos from other MCU films, terrible comedic relief, and an incredibly stupid third act. Let me explain these issues a little further. The amount of characters in this story is just simply unnecessary. I wouldn't go as far as to say that it's bloated, but it is certainly unnecessary. The Los Polos Hermanos guy from Breaking Bad is introduced in this film as an S-tier hitman or something, I think. Then he gets his ass whooped and spills the beans about the real villain. And that's it. That's his whole place in the story, and I explained it in like 2 sentences. The other character, who no, I cannot remember her name, she is that irrelevant. If she was just taken out of the story, it wouldn't even change the film. The film would actually stay the same. She beats up a few guys in a hallway, and that's like all she does in the story. Also, she beats up quite a few people in this film without breaking a sweat. But she is so small and petite that I swear my youngest nephew could rip her in half with his bare hands. Okay, obviously I'm over-exaggerating, but she is seriously so tiny. They also gave Sam Wilson a very unfunny sidekick in this movie who is supposed to be the comedic relief. Again, I don't know his name. He is not significant in this film at all. I don't even know why he's in the movie. He is not that important to the story. He kind of just feels like he's along for the ride, and then he just tells extremely unfunny jokes. It's like all he does. But yeah, that's about all I have to say about the unnecessary characters, but I will say a lot of the other characters are just poorly written. Sam Wilson is just kind of whatever. Pretty standard, I'd say, but the president is incredibly inconsistent. And the otherworld leaders are horribly written. And the villain kinda sucks at being a fucking villain. His whole thing is just being super smart so he can do precise calculations with his predictions, I guess. But he fails over and over and over again throughout the whole movie. Oh, and the Winter Soldier just shows up for like a 5-minute cameo. He gives a generic, "you can do it" speech, and then he ends it with a joke that doesn't even crack a smile out of me. Then he just leaves. That's 5 whole minutes that could have just been cut from the whole movie, but Marvel just has to make their movies like 2 hours plus. It's fucking annoying. Now for the comedic relief. I personally did not crack a single smile throughout this whole movie. And I say throughout this whole movie because this movie is full of jokes. Like other amateur MCU films. It seriously feels like these jokes are being written by 2020 Trevor Noah. The jokes are just so bad. Now to talk about the third act. In some ways, the third act is like the best part of the movie, only because that's when the Red Hulk fight scene happens. Everything else about the third act fucking sucks. The third act kind of just starts when the villain just gives himself up. He is not outplayed by the hero or anything. He just simply walks up to Sam, who is sitting on a park bench, by the way. Basically just says that his plan isn't over, but since you foiled my last plan, I'm just gonna give myself up. Then Red Hulk shows up and he and Captain America fight, then it's over and I shit you not like 5 minutes. What the fuck? The trailer was hyping that shit up. Why do we only see this fight scene for like 5 minutes or so? On top of all of that, the way the Red Hulk is just defeated is just by Sam Wilson basically asking him politely to stop. I don't think I need to explain any further as to why this third act is fucking awful. This movie is also like really easy to nitpick as far as the physics and shit are concerned. This movie just loves to remind us that Sam Wilson is not a super soldier at all. He is just a normal fucking guy with no superpowers whatsoever. He then proceeds to withstand shit that only a superpowered individual could ever pull off. Then there's a scene where Sam and his bitch break into a secret, highly guarded military base. But it must not be that protected because they break in and they get into the lab or whatever, and I shit you not, under a minute. They make it a point that they only have like under a minute to break in. And they do, flawlessly. This movie also doesn't care at all to explain how the villain like hacks into stuff. Just cause he's super smart with like science doesn't mean he knows how to hack into any device. The fuck? This movie isn't all bad though. The fight scenes with Captain America were actually pretty damn good. Plus the scene with Red Hulk and Captain America actually fighting, that was mostly pretty fun to watch. The performances given by almost everyone were pretty damn good. Others did not perform so well, but most of the performances were pretty damn good. Overall though, I just wish that Disney and Marvel can just open their fucking eyes a lot more with what they're doing. Because if handled correctly, this movie could have honestly been a pretty fun banger. There absolutely was potential here for a huge hit, but instead they just fumbled the bag. Again, I just simply want Marvel to be good, and for them to handle their ideas more carefully. With that being said, this movie is going to get a somehow not disappointing 4 out of 10.